right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, child care struggles. With pandemic funding expiring, daycares could shutter and costs could surge.
What a difference a day makes. It's much, much cooler than average right now, and over the next couple of days, that trend continues. How cool it gets tonight and why we may be approaching records.
And our top story tonight, Tattletales Wanted. The new system in one local town allowing you to report expired temp tags.
It's an ongoing thing, so we just decided to do something about it rather than wait for it to just exacerbate itself.
Enough is enough. That's the message tonight for drivers in St. Charles with expired temporary plates. Good evening. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. It's a problem seen across the state, but St. Charles leaders think they have an answer. New tonight, our Brent Solomon is just back from speaking with both the mayor and the police chief. Brent.
All right, let's break down how this will work. You can help be the eyes and the ears for city leaders. They say paying taxes is something that's expected of all of us. So why not rat out those who are sidestepping? How often are you on the road and notice the person in front of you has a temp tag? It's supposed to be just that, temporary, but some are taking advantage.
I followed a guy the other day with a 2019 sticker on a BMW. If a guy's driving a brand new BMW, he can sure as heck afford to pay the sales tax.
It's why St. Charles Mayor Dan Borgmeyer isn't taking it anymore.
It's a statewide, it's got to be millions of dollars in uncollected tax. We get a percentage of that. It really wasn't about the money, it was about fairness and about letter of the law. If you got to follow the law.
We took a ride around a few parking lots in St. Charles, and within 20 minutes, we found quite a few expired tags on parked cars. And some where you couldn't see whether it was expired or not due to license plate frames covering the date. That's why police want you to get involved.
We're seeing multiple a day.
Police Chief Ray Jinks says if you can safely snap a pic of those offenders and send them to the city, his traffic enforcement division will do the rest.
You'll be pulled over, you'll be given a summons, we'll seize the temp tag as evidence, we'll submit that in evidence, you'll go to court, and you'll deal with the court system after that.
In other words, no more Mr. Nice Guy in St. Charles.
Well, we're losing revenue, and they just didn't pay their sales tax, and it's due.
It is due. So in a few years, you're going to be able to pay your sales tax on a new car at the dealership when you buy it. The mayor is hoping that will cut down on expired temp tags as well. In the meantime, there is a website where St. Charles neighbors can go to report violators. We've placed that for you on KSDK.com. Just look under As Seen on TV.
Just hours after making landfall as a major hurricane in Florida's Big Bend region, Tropical Storm Idalia is still packing a punch as it moves over Georgia and the Carolinas tonight. In Goose Creek, South Carolina, a tornado flipped a car into the air, causing it to crash back down. Police say 2 people inside only suffered minor injuries. In nearby Charleston, heavy rains have already led to flooding in the streets. In Florida's North Gulf Coast, cleanup already underway. The storm made landfall early this morning with 125-mile-per-hour winds that split trees in half and ripped roofs off of buildings. Heavy rains also led to major flooding. Nearly 500,000 people in Florida and Georgia are without power tonight. It's all quiet back here at home. Idalia is not affecting our weather. Weather First meteorologist Gary Frank is in for Scott tonight, and he's been tracking Idalia and our next chances of rain.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, sometimes these storms come up and work their way in and impact us to some degree, and this one is not. It's riding the coast. You can see that rapid intensification as it made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane earlier today. But as it's moved up the coast and now just right over the top of Charleston here, you'll see it's not raining so much along the coast, but significantly north of Myrtle Beach. And, you know, the current location here, wind at 60 miles an hour. It's a tropical storm, and it will not continue to go up the coast. It'll go back out to sea. That is positive news, but still, the storm surge is still an issue right now along the coast. So that's something that we continue to monitor. For us right now, it's quiet. And if you've stepped outside at any point today, you know how nice it is. It's cooler. We're in the low 60s already, 63 in Alton, 65 in Belleville. So it's pretty pleasant. I think tonight we're headed for the 50s. There's some spots I'm going to pinpoint that may even drop into the 40s. How close that is to a record here coming up in just a few minutes, and where we stand in the latest drought monitor as we head into the holiday weekend.
Tonight, the Missouri State Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash in St. Charles County. It happened around 6:30 tonight in O'Fallon on the entrance ramp from Highway K onto eastbound 364. We're told the crash involved one car. No one else was hurt. Tonight, the group charged with rewriting the St. Louis City Charter met for the very first time. The commission was approved by voters in April. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is live downtown with how this commission could change the inner workings of the city. Laura.
Well, and the bare bones of our city charter were actually adopted in 1914. Of course, there's been some amendments made since then, but the commissioners tell me tonight it is long overdue to make these changes.
I'm pleased to welcome the members of the public.
The inaugural meeting of the St. Louis Charter Commission was mostly about meeting times and other procedures, but it's also this group of 9 voting members and 7 others can help the city grow over the next year.
The charter really is the basis of the city. It's like the constitution of the city of St. Louis. It sets the parameters of how the city operates itself.
The document is well over 100 years old and details things like procedures for steamboats and other outdated measures.
It's almost like trying to navigate the earth with an old map without knowing all the obstacles that are in the way. We have to have a more updated playbook. And we have seen our peer cities update their charters and be more consistent with this, and they've been able to surpass us.
Commissioner Anna Crossland says the population loss in the city is a big concern.
58 African-American families per month are leaving the city of St. Louis right now. That's a big number.
Both commissioners say the city's internal structure is something they want to take a very close look at.
We have the county of the city of St. Louis layer of administration on top of the city of St. Louis administration, creating all kinds of challenges because we have one layer that reports to the governor and another layer then that reports to the mayor and the board of estimate and apportionment.
The public will be able to comment during this process and will also vote on the final changes.
And we have to make sure that essentially our Constitution is built not just for the last 100 years, but really for the next 100 years.
The commission plans to meet on the first Wednesday of every month for the next 12 months. And the public can come to these meetings, as well as they'll be holding 2 public hearings at a minimum where people can come and speak their minds. Reporting live from downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
The owners of a troubled gas station in downtown St. Louis could get more time to fix ongoing problems. Today, the city's zoning investigator presented evidence showing a number of crimes at the BP station at 1401 Choteau. The city's zoning examiner listed several issues at the store, including the sale of items used as drug paraphernalia. The owners say they want to make things right and stay in business.
Consistently on the property is we have fights, assaults, disturbances, stealing, property damage, shootings. So all these calls are a nuisance to the city.
We try to do the best. We try working with the city. Anything they need, we can do.
Today's meeting ended with a request for a continuance. The owner's attorney is hoping to hear back soon.
Tonight, Webster Groves police are investigating a series of hate crimes. Officers say someone burned 2 Black Lives Matter signs and a Trans Lives Matter sign on 3 different streets. Webster Groves police believe all of the crimes were committed in the overnight hours by the same person.
Tomorrow is International Overdose Awareness Day, and we're just hours away from a major announcement of a new partnership in St. Louis County aimed at strengthening the fight against the opioid epidemic.
New tonight, our Robert Townsend has details on that and a special event to remember those who lost their lives to drug overdose.
It's been 9 years since Patty and Ellis Fitzwalter suddenly lost their only son. Michael Fitzwalter was just 22 years old when he died as a result of an opioid overdose.
We didn't know at the time how important it was to keep prescription medications locked up. So he got a hold of those, and that's how he began his addiction with opioids. It's just so extremely devastating.
14 years ago, Kathy Arbini experienced a similar unexpected loss. Her 21-year-old son, Kevin Moulaine, also lost his life during an opioid-related death.
He was very depressed. He had a lot of anxiety, and he just started going downhill after that.
On Thursday, as part of International Overdose Awareness Day, the 3 parents will team up with others, share their pain, and participate in a walk to remember their loved ones.
I want them to walk away knowing that they're not alone, that their loved one did not die in vain.
Statistics show 449 people in St. Louis County died from drug overdose last year. Officials say 67% of those deaths were opioid related. International Overdose Awareness Day will be held at Concordia Lutheran Church on Kirkwood Road. Thursday morning before the event, County Executive Sam Page will make an announcement aimed at fighting the opioid epidemic during a news conference at the Lewis and Clark Library in North County.
Prevent others from going down the same path and losing their lives, hopefully.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
In conjunction with International Overdose Awareness Day, the St. Louis Wheel at Union Station and the James McDonald Planetarium will both light up purple. A potential child care crisis for parents struggling to make ends meet.
It might be over half of your income that's going to child care.
Crucial funding ends just weeks from now. The effect this will have on families on both sides of the river. Stunning images claiming to show the wrath of Idalia. Tonight, our Verified team helps you weather the storm of viral videos.
The latest update to our drought monitor has most of us out of drought categories and at least improving conditions in other spots. Why the next week may change that and when we can expect our next chance for rain.
Tonight, Republican presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy hosted a private fundraiser at the Four Seasons in downtown St. Louis. The billionaire's campaign relocated to a backup venue after Olive and Oak and Webster Groves canceled the event. The restaurant's owner says it was an attempt to avoid getting in the middle of politics. The campaign is taking aim at other events held at the restaurant.
It's a sad irony that this restaurant hosted a drag show for kids and had fundraisers for drag murals and things of that nature, but yet would cancel a presidential candidate for his beliefs.
In social media posts, Olive and Oak said, while we admit the politics of Mr. Ramaswamy don't align well with the vast majority of our employees and community, there were other issues involved in the decision to cancel.
More than 3 million children will lose child care in less than a month. This includes more than 139,000 kids in Missouri and Illinois.
Now that's according to the Century Foundation. As Michelle Lee reports, it means many uncertainties for families who need child care to make ends meet.
Catch it. All right, ready?
Working parents and caregivers can tell you that child care is already unaffordable, especially for those trying to make ends meet. Paula Breon Vickers works in early childhood education, but she's also a parent who trusts Urban Sprouts with her family.
And when we're looking at the cost of childcare already, for a single family household, it might be over half of your income that's going to childcare.
And come September, affordability and access to childcare could change for the worse.
What is going to happen in September?
So in September, some of the pandemic funding is going to end.
If your family comes here to Urban Sprouts, you should consider yourself lucky because the wait list here is 2 years long. Childcare as an industry has been in crisis long before the pandemic. That's because of industry-wide low wages or lack of benefits. But at least during the last few years, there was pandemic relief to the tune of $52 billion that helped a lot of places stay afloat. In fact, more than 220,000. But we now know that program is ending and things are going to change very quickly for families.
The big concern is that the cost of child care will have to go up to make up for the pandemic relief going away. If child care centers can no longer afford to pay their staff a living wage, they may have to cut down on open slots available.
People might leave the workforce because they might learn that the cost of child care isn't even more than what they're bringing home in their job.
And the deadline has lawmakers in agreement that change is needed now.
We have a broken and dysfunctional child care system.
Child care, obviously, is too expensive for those who need it.
Paula says people who care about children are trying to advocate for more funding in St. Louis. But for now, she says the work falls on child care workers who will have no choice but to do more with less.
It's unfortunate because the center director and the center staff will have to work so much harder on top of the work that they're already doing to make up for that funding loss.
For Making Ends Meet, Michelle Lee, 5 on your side.
The program ends at the end of September. Both Illinois and Missouri have subsidies for child care, but it's difficult for a lot of working families to qualify. In the meantime, research estimates that nearly 3,000 child care facilities will close in Missouri and Illinois by next month. Gas prices are creeping up for Labor Day weekend, but tomorrow you can save big at the pump. Circle K is holding another Fuel Day promotion. From 4 until 7 tomorrow afternoon, you can fill up for 30 cents off per gallon. You can also get 50% off for food and beverages from 6 a.m. until 4 p.m. Also tomorrow, a big bargain for book lovers. The Jewish Community Center used book sale in Creve Coeur wraps up with Bag Day. For $5 per bag, you can fill them up with books on tape, CDs, and DVDs. Bag Day runs from 10 until 6.
There are several images and videos of Hurricane Idalia's wrath circulating online, but our verified team has found not all of them are real. Like a video of a waterspout hitting Clearwater Beach back in June, but viral posts claim it shows Idalia making landfall. Here's Ariane Till with a look at another widely shared clip.
A viral post claims to show video of an oil tanker caught in Hurricane Idalia. But is that what we're really seeing? Let's verify using these sources. Using Google Lens, Verify traced this video back to a post by video licensing company Newsflare on August 16, 2021. According to Newsflare, the video shows footage of an MR oil tanker caught in a storm off the coast of Denmark. The video was picked up by several news organizations at the time, including Now This News. So we can verify, no. This video does not show an oil tanker caught in Hurricane Idalia. The video is over 2 years old. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariane Till.
If you see a viral image or a clip you'd like for us to check out, send it to us in an email. The email address, verify@ksdk.com. The video of Idalia from MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa is real. It looks like lightning shooting across the sky, but it's actually St. Elmo's fire. Not the 1980s movie and song, rather a rare weather phenomenon in which luminous plasma is created in an atmospheric electric field. Translation? I have no idea.
Well, Gary knows the answer. Gary Frank is in for Scott. He has the weather first forecast.
Yeah, it's
Gary,
always
help
cool.
us out.
Yeah, it's always cool to see those videos where those planes go. You know, the hurricane hunters go inside those and see all that static. You know that it's basically it's running through static electricity. So it's kind of what it is, and we don't have enough time to give you the real full answer.
Yeah, just dumb it down for us. Static electricity, we got it.
Something we can understand.
It's not quite like you rubbing your socks against the carpet, but
a little more serious.
A little more serious than that. But always, those guys are safe, and it's amazing what they do and provide us with that useful information. And we're talking so much about the hurricane because it's affecting so many people now, a tropical storm and flooding. But here it's been very quiet and very nice here. As we look from Rob shared this photo, you get these great looking views of the sunset here, and obviously the moon's very bright right now as well. The wind is out of the north in August, and that is usually a positive for us. It's 70 degrees in at this hour. We're going to continue to fall. You'll notice our normal lows, 68 degrees. We're already there at 10:19. We are on our way, very close to getting a record low tonight. That's how significant. If you haven't opened your windows up already, please do so. If you're not avoiding the allergies, you're not going to have to worry about too much tomorrow. So today's high of 82 degrees was the 31st coolest high since 1874. I know it didn't stand out, but when you look all the way back, that's just how cool it is right now. I mean, it's kind of abnormal to some degree, and right now our current temps have now dropped down to 70 here within the last couple of minutes. So those 50s and 60s behind it. Yesterday, a little bit more humid. We continue to see that drier air settle in, and that's what we're really going to feel. That's going to allow our temperatures to fall even more as that dry air settles in. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of fog, but tomorrow's record low is 50. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we've only been in the 50s 19 times since 1874 tomorrow. So it's going to be a cool morning. Overnight lows, I think, as we start into the early morning hours, mid-50s in the city. Outside of the city, there are going to be some 40s that pop up, and Anthony's going to share that with you. It's going to be cool. So think about a layer in the morning. You'll shed it pretty quickly in the afternoon, because I think tomorrow will warm up pretty quickly. We're in the mid-60s already by 10 o'clock. We're around 80. Once again, a pretty cool afternoon for August. We know it's going to get warm, and that will happen once again. That high comes in from the four corners, but I don't think we get that intense Gulf moisture. So while it's warmer, we're probably not going to see things that are incredibly sticky at the same time, and that was what caused that excessive heat. So we avoid that, but it also remains pretty dry, all things considered. So as we are dry now, we're going to continue to add on to that. The humidity picks up a little bit by Saturday, but I don't think it impacts your holiday weekend too much. And as we climb closer to 90 degrees, we'll see those overnight lows in the 70s, not the mid-80s. That's the main difference for me. And then we'll start to ramp up our rain chances just in time for the latter portion of Monday, back to work, back to school, and then we're around 90 degrees, staying above average the next 10 days after that.
All right, Gary, thank you. Sports is coming up. Frank?
And the Cardinals gave us a thrill. Could City SC do the same? Stick around. We have much to discuss.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
City SC is like a student who wasn't that highly regarded, but it aced the first 3 quarters. And now the expectations are so high, they have to finish with a flourish, make the playoffs, and get the home field advantage. FC Dallas came to City Park tonight. Crazy moment at the 12-minute mark. The Dallas goaltender, Martin Paz, handles the ball outside the penalty area. This is not debatable. That is a red card. So Dallas had to change goalies and play the rest of the game a man down. Speaking of goaltenders, Roman Berkey, another world-class save at the 25-minute mark. We are scoreless at halftime. 82nd minute. Rasmus Alm lofts it. Anthony Markanich will have the ball go off of him for the goal, 1-0 City. A little later, Leuven the pass, Klaus the screen, and Nufki Khorasan with the goal. City wins it 2-1. They lead the West by 7 points. The second half was the story.
We needed to get in the locker room and just almost reset the brains and the bodies and almost show gaps of where we are with a man up. So credit to the boys for the second half application and performance.
So I know the season is lost, and there's a good chance the Cardinals will finish in last place. However, the one thing you really can't say is that they've quit. And they shouldn't. They are cashing checks. And for the second consecutive day, the Cardinals had a captivating finish. The Cardinals haven't been good when the other team scores first or getting the clutch hit. But Jordan Walker says throw those numbers in the trash. Way out for a 3-run bomb. The rookie with 4 hits today. It was 4-3 Padres in the ninth. Down to his last strike, Mason Wynn lines the hit off of Josh Hader. He's thinking 2 all the way. He will beat the throw to second. He is the tying run. Tommy Edman is the winning run. And like last night, he delivers. He goes the other way, and the ball carries and carries into the bullpen for the second straight walk-off. The first back-to-back walk-off since 2006 with Gary Bennett, the final 5-4.
I feel like this past series I was more decisive at the plate, which was really the difference. At some points I caught myself in between pitches and then not ready for anything.
It feels great, especially when in this year that we've had to have a couple of big wins like that. The excitement is awesome, and hopefully we can have a great September too.
The way he plays the game, how hard he plays and how good he is. I mean, seeing him do that, going backside against a great pitcher like that is something really cool. I mean, I think I had a really good view from second base, and watching it fly off the bat was a lot of fun. Just a huge smile on my face.
It's another packed Friday for high school sports this week, and we'll have the best local football highlights in town. We will also spotlight the life and legacy of a legendary local soccer coach. The Granite City community is mourning the loss of one of their great coaches of all time. Gene Baker passed away this past weekend at the age of 79. Baker won an Illinois record 9 state championships at Granite City and made a lasting impact on countless lives.
He built a legacy here with Granite City soccer. He put Granite City on the map as far as soccer went.
He had a real incredible ability of making every one of his players feel special, feel loved and needed. Everybody has a piece of Coach Baker in them.
And speaking of soccer, I just got a call before I came on the air from my daughter Brooke, who went to her first game, City SC, and she says, Dad, it was unbelievable. It makes me proud to be a St. Louisan. And then she asked if I could get her some tickets, and I hung up the phone and went back to work.
Those tickets are expensive.
Oh, my goodness. And there's not a seat. Unlike at Busch Stadium, there's no seats at City Park.
And people don't understand how long this season is.
Yeah.
It's a long MLS season, so
right.
they've still got some action to
and
go.
I will say there's not a bad seat in the house, too.
No, and the food, unbelievable.
It is so
Yes.
good. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to go to one game, and it was so much fun.
All right, Frank, thanks.
Countdown to kickoff. How Mizzou Tiger fans can enjoy games this season with some new buds. The newest Subway restaurant is reaching new heights. Subway in the Sky is a floating restaurant which will serve the chain's new deli heroes from 1,000 feet in the air. The flying footlong will fly over 4 cities, including Kansas City, next week. It can seat 40 customers per day, and you can reserve a spot on Subway's website.
The Mizzou Tigers kick off a new season tomorrow night at Faurot Field. Tonight, Bud Light is out with its new Tiger Packs. You can only buy the limited edition black and gold can bottles at stores in the Columbia area. Each can features a QR code where fans can scan to register for a chance to win a flyover in a private jet over any game of their choice. Hopefully it'll be a fun season at Faurot. There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Please start your day with Today in St. Louis from 4 to 7 a.m.